I hope this will help people take down their Marlin 60. Excuse the British accent, but that's where I came from. So follow this through, and hopefully it'll help you get this rifle stripped down, cleaned, and back into full functionality. Images are pretty reduced, but hopefully there'll be enough there to help you see what you're going to do. To start off, of course, check for clear, empty chamber, and remove the tube magazine rod as well. Now just undo 2 screws, the trigger guard rear and the larger one on the fore end 2 inches ahead of the trigger guard. Don't bother with the trigger guard front screw itself at all. Remove the woodwork from the rifle and make sure the action is cocked and the hammer is back. First, having removed the woodwork, here is the action, with the slide still locked back halfways. The trigger itself stays in the trigger guard. Now, same thing, but viewed from below. Look carefully, and you should see a white arrow at the top left. This points to the plastic split pin that retains the trigger group. Push this pin out, noting that just as it comes free, the trigger group will drop down a little bit. Notice the general crud in this picture. This one does need cleaned. The pin has now been removed and the rear of the trigger group drops down. Control this carefully to avoid it coming too far too soon. Now, once the pin is out and the rear has been dropped as in the previous picture, the front of the trigger group can be pulled rearward just a little to disengage its location. Note the 2 small arrows in the picture. The right-hand one points to the engagement cross pin, and the left points to the step at the front of the trigger group, which goes over this pin. Now for the bolt. Move it slightly downward as shown. This gives some free space above the cocking handle. Move the handle up into that space and it should withdraw by pulling towards you. The next picture shows the handle removed, and you'll notice how it is a sort of U shape which fits over the bolt. It's normally retained, of course, when the bolt is fully up in the normal operating position. This is just a further view to again show the bolt handle profile sideways on. Okay, now we can remove the bolt, complete with its recoil spring. In this picture it's almost out, but still pressing against the end of the mag feed block. Try and keep the spring in its guide reasonably straight to avoid the spring buckling excessively in the middle. With some care, continue to pull the bolt free and allow the spring to expand under control while trying to keep it straight. Then remove the whole assembly. From this point you can get down to the cleaning. I don't suggest you strip any further, and it is certainly best to keep the trigger group completely intact. Using carb cleaner and compressed air or both, get all the crud out of the trigger group and the internal surfaces that bear on the bolt. The bolt itself will need some good cleaning as well. After the crud is dealt with, re-lube sparingly with Militech or Mobile One, concentrating on the slide contact areas. However, too much lube is nothing more than a magnet for 22 powder granules. Reassembly is essentially just a reverse process, but again, do try not to buckle the recoil spring as you refit the bolt. I hope this helps.